So I've been really enjoying Tears of the Kingdom. I think Nintendo knocked it out of the park again, what can I say? Like many of you, I was concerned that reusing the Hyrule overworld would be a problem. If you played Breath of the Wild, you've been to every corner of this world, probably a few times over. By all accounts, players should be expected to feel some level of staleness, right? The answer is incredibly no. It all works. I don't want to spoil too much, but the way they've expanded the world, the tweaks to the gameplay, and how you explore, it all adds up to feeling like a truly different experience. Is it better than Breath of the Wild? Hard to say because it is so utterly distinct, and that's an incredible achievement. But I want to discuss what they should do next. Eiji Aonuma, the guiding hand for the series since Ocarina of Time, has recently said that the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom gameplay format will be the new format for the series moving forward, the same way Ocarina of Time served as the prototype for a decade's worth of Zelda titles. I'd call this decision bittersweet in a way. I really enjoyed the format of these two most recent games, but I'd play another game in that previous style in a heartbeat. There's also the top-down style that I'd love to explore further, but 2013's A Link Between Worlds only sold around 4.3 million copies, and 2019's Link's Awakening remake just over 6 million, adding up to what Tears of the Kingdom sold in less than a week. I would like Nintendo to explore putting some amount of resources in other Zelda experiences, but maybe that's just the fan in me talking. The truth is, money talks. It's really the only language that allows most artistic expression to be spoken. Breath of the Wild sold nearly 32 million copies, nearly as much as Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess combined. And all of those games had re-releases. So it seems like this new format has set up camp, and it ain't going nowhere. And again, I'd call it bittersweet. It's like chocolate and vanilla, except they announced they're no longer creating any new types of chocolate products from now on. But if this is what Zelda games are going to look like from now on, I just have one humble request to Nintendo. Don't use the same map again. One thing I loved about the pre-Breath of the Wild 3D Zeldas is that while they all had the same DNA from Ocarina of Time, they all felt incredibly distinct in tone and style, and all featured vastly different maps and overworlds. The closest comparison here would be Majora's Mask, which featured the same game engine and visual style as Ocarina of Time, as well as many reused assets. But Majora featured a completely different world, a sort of bizarre, incredible upside-down Hyrule that took what Ocarina of Time did and twisted it in fascinating and creative ways. Tears of the Kingdom does a lot of that too. It feels like a sort of in-between in terms of incorporating elements from the previous title and differentiating itself. Like I said at the top, it does absolutely do more than enough to distinguish itself from its predecessor, and it's an incredible achievement that it manages to do so in the way that it does, but a third game in this style simply can't take place on this overworld again. New map, new world. Keep the same Link, that's cool. New enemies, new characters. Again, Tears does a lot of this stuff, but a third entry in this style really should take us somewhere distinct. Doesn't have to be bigger. It could even be smaller with maybe more things to do. I think a lot of people would advocate for that even. I don't want to spoil too much, and I haven't beaten Tears yet, but I really enjoyed the way the water temple changes up the gameplay. Do more things like that with entry 3. Or hell, maybe you do treat Tears as the Majora's Mask in this cycle. Then go for broke with the next entry a la Wind Waker. Keep the core gameplay, the core mechanics, etc., but maybe do a new art style. A different tone, a different Link in this bizarre, hilariously convoluted Zelda timeline. I don't know. Like I said, the way they managed to distinguish Tears from its predecessor is quite the achievement, but I have my reservations about pulling that trick again without shaking things up more. But we are talking about Nintendo, and they're one company that I definitely wouldn't bet against creatively. Whatever choice they make for the next Zelda game is most likely going to be the correct one. What are your thoughts on where these series should go next? Let me know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.